Hello everybody, I would like to start off this video by stating that this series and this channel are for my own thoughts, and if you somehow stumbled across this, then be sure to check out my gaming channel, YC Games, the link will be in the description. For this series, I will go over my thoughts, theories, expectations, and hopes for Borderlands 3. In this video, I will be talking about the characters that I think will be in Borderlands 3, and sincerely hope.
Let Jack have his ivory towers.
To start off, I want to talk about who I hope the playable characters will be. Most likely they will be 4 completely new characters that we haven't even heard of before, and that's honestly what I hope for. I don't want to play as the characters I played as before, or even just seen or talked to before. Now this is what, the pre-sequel did, and that's alright for that, but for, this Borderlands 3, I want completely new characters, all new, just never heard of before. I think that would be great. But, considering how Borderlands have been in the past, there are a couple theories of what I think will happen. Now, of these 4 playable characters, it's kind of obvious that we're going to get a Siren most likely. Maya is by far my favorite playable character in Borderlands 2, and it'd be nice to get a Siren as good as she was. Now, I want to be clear that I do not just want a reskin version of Maya, or even a Siren with the phase locking or phase walking abilities, but rather a completely new Siren with some crazy ability. Gearbox is really good, and 2K really good at making these new crazy characters with amazing abilities, and Sirens are where they just shine. Along with the Siren, it's pretty obvious that we're most likely going to get a Soldier as well. I personally never really liked the Soldier, but I have a couple good friends that are always used them and were, thought I was crazy for not wanting him. So it's pretty fair that they're going to have some kind of Soldier class in the game. Personally though, I don't think they should keep going with a turret because we've kind of done that way too many times already. It's been overused and should just kind of stop at this point. A Soldier I'm all okay with, but we've seen some new ability. Doesn't matter what it is, like I said, they're creative, they can come up with something, but just not a turn preferably. Another class that I hope that they, bring back for 3 would be the Berserker class. Now, in Borderlands 1, Brick was my favorite character as a Berserker. I loved just the ability to just run in there, start punching things. It was just awesome, it made me feel great. Now the Gunzerker in Borderlands 2, I wasn't as big of a fan of. Maybe because I'm more of a melee guy, that's on me. But I just didn't find him as fun. But I think it's safe to say that there still will be some kind of Zerking in Borderlands 3. And I hope there is, because like I said, I really like being a Berserker. And I think that you can make a Gunzerker really fun. I'm sure some people enjoyed it. I personally didn't. Finally, it's safe to say there's most likely going to be some kind of assassin. I've never played as Mordecai, but I really did like playing as 0 and 2. The ability to go invisible and to get out of combat, or go into combat either way, like if I was in trouble, it was a good way to get out, or sneak up behind a group of enemies and just blast them in the back. It was a great ability, and I think they could bring that back in some way. Same thing with Maya though. I don't want the same ability. I want similar, but something different, something unique to this new character. On the other side though, while I never played as Mordecai, just hearing his ability was really interesting to me. Having an animal companion, I think that would be great. Maybe not for an assassin though. I'm thinking maybe more like a soldier's new ability. Have him like, a skag pet. Give a skag, treat it like a dog. Soldiers love dogs. That'd just be something, something to work with. It'd be a good replacement for the turret, I think. So I put the DLC characters in its own category because I feel like they have a separate place in Borderlands than the main characters do. Don't get me wrong, I love not only the inclusion of main characters, even though they are paid DLC, but most of the characters that were included were my favorite characters of the series. I also put them in a separate category because there's less guidelines to go off of. There seem more just random characters the developers are like, hey, this would be cool, while the main playable characters seem to go off some kind of guidelines. Of all the DLC characters, Krieg was definitely my favorite. It was honestly pretty revolutionary, especially for Borderlands. He was a psycho that was holding on to his sanity because of Maya. He fights his own kind. It was just so interesting, so fun to play as him. Plus he had a ton of interesting quotes that just made him that much more exciting every time I, played as him. Every time I heard him talk, I'm like, ooh, this is awesome. Also, he was just fun to play as. His buzz axe was so much like the Brick's Berserk that you know, remind me of Brick, and I love Brick from Borderlands 1. So he was by far my favorite DLC character, and I want more characters like him. A lot of DLC characters, yeah, they're fun, but they don't offer much. I mean, other than different abilities, obviously. But Krieg just went above and beyond. It was so much fun and just had so much going on for him. I just loved being as him. And, you know, being as the bad guy, it was so much fun. So I think that'd be great, you know, bring in like a Nomad or a Goliath, you know, make them a playable character. It'd be pretty fun.
Strangely satisfying.
Not only like Krieg, I mean, obviously there are more playable characters that are DLC that were so much fun to be as, but he just always stuck out to me, and I want more characters like that, more that stick out, more that make me want to pay that extra money to play as. Because honestly, for like the pre-sequel, yeah, I bought them, but it was not worth it. I was severely let down. I mean, Jack was fun to play as, but he didn't hold the weight that Krieg did. I want more characters like Krieg that just make me want to buy the extra content, make it worth the extra money. Obviously, one of the biggest draws of Borderlands is the cast of crazy fun, non-playable characters. The Wasteland Pandora wouldn't be incredibly dull if it weren't for these crazy, chaotic, just absolutely fun, well-designed people. The different quest givers and story drivers are one of the biggest reasons I have so many different playthroughs and I'm still have fun every time. Every time I go through, it's like a new experience, just with different quotes. The same missions don't seem boring. It's just so much fun. Even the random people on the street have something to say. Sometimes it's just something boring, sometimes it's a funny quote that makes me laugh. Either way, I'm glad I heard it. And I want Borderlands 3 to have this same just fun, non-playable characters. Whether it's the big guys, you know, that everyone knows the names of and love, or even just the small guys on the street. It's those kind of commitment to just the story and just random funness that is the game that make these games great, and I want that so much in Borderlands 3. And when you talk about the big characters, now while I do really love the characters, you know, that we've, you know, spent a few games learning and knowing and loving, I don't want them to be the main focus of Borderlands 3. I want completely new characters, you know, new ideas, new crazy personas, just everything. Just new characters to fall in love with and learn the backstories of, because when we go back to the same characters, I feel like we know everything about them. Like, there's nothing new we can learn. We know, you know, most of Moxie's past. We know what happened to Roland and, you know, all the old playable characters. So I want new characters telling the story, giving me quests. However, that being said, I still want them present. I want them there. I want to talk to them. I want to interact with them. You know, maybe tell me something else about their past I didn't know. You know, I still want them there, just not as big of a part as they were in past games. Now, the other thing, and this is one of the things that really made me mad about the pre-sequel, they didn't include the playable characters from Borderlands 2. I love those characters. I want to know more about them. I want to see, like, where they ended up. That would be very interesting. Obviously, the pre-sequel couldn't have done that, but they could have given me, you know, a pre to Borderlands 2. They could have told me a little bit more about their backstory that we couldn't learn through audio logs. I want that for 3, though. I want to extend their story. I want maybe even them to be the quest givers. That would be awesome. I think that would be really interesting. One of the biggest characters I want to go back on is Krieg. Like I said, I loved his backstory. I love everything about that character. I want to see where he ended up. I want to know, did he become sane? Is he more human now? Is he still fighting with, you know, just that shred of sanity he has left? That's something I would really like to see in Borderlands 3, them continuing that story in particular. I mean, obviously not as a main story, but as like a side story thread, that'd be great. I would love that if they did that. Because I love that character so much, and I honestly don't think he gets as much love as he deserves. But hey, that's just me talking. If you noticed, I never mentioned Handsome Jack or any kind of villain in this video. That's because I plan on doing that in another video. I'm hoping to make this a 10-part series, tackling everything I want, don't want, my theories, just everything possible about Borderlands 3. Just super excited for it. Everything possible to cover. If you got this far in the video, then I would suggest checking out my other channel, YC Games, where I post me and my friends playing just different games. Be sure to look out for the next video and share with your friends who are just as excited as I am for Borderlands 3.